You have a quorum present.
Thank you so much. Next item, please.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United
Please
States
stand
of
for the
America.
Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next item, please.
Invocation.
Thank you. We will have the introduction of our invocator by Commissioner Cara Clemente.
Morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Much better. Thank you. Joining us today is Reverend Kevin B. Mack, Senior Pastor at Missionary Baptist Church located in Ecorse. Pastor Mack leads his congregation to be gospel preaching, disciple making, spirit led, world changing body of believers that not just only attend church, but they are the church. Everyone is welcome at Mount Zion, and here is Pastor Mack.
Good morning, everyone. Acknowledging the chair, acknowledging Ms. Clemente, acknowledging the rest of the commission. We thank you for this opportunity to be with you. I am Pastor Kevin Mack, pastor of the Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church in the wonderful city of Ecorse, Michigan. Amen. Amen. Well, I thought today as we went into this time that we will find ourselves, brothers and sisters, if you would, in the book of Proverbs. And in the book of Proverbs, it tells us in chapter number 3, in verse number 3, begins as follows. As we focus in on the reason why we're here, those of you who've been called to this particular office. Let not steadfast love and faithfulness forsake you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart, so you will find favor and good success in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean to your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. Let us bow and let us pray. Father in heaven, how we love you today, how we honor you and we glorify you. How we pause at this time, oh God, to say thank you for life, health, and for strength. We pause at this time to say thank you for those things that you've done for us, oh God, that we have not paused to say thank you up until this point. We ask at this time that as your presence is invoked in this time of meeting, this time of gathering, this time of decision making, that you would, oh God, show forth your mercy, your grace, and your power. Father, we represent and we understand as we represent the people, we understand that we must bow to you who are greater. For you are omnipresent. That means you are everywhere. You are omnipotent. That means you know all. You are omniscient. That means you're all powerful. And at this time, we need your guidance. I pray that your spirit will rest upon this group that is gathered today, oh God, that those who they represent will know that their work is not in vain. I pray that your presence will be represented today, oh God, by this group, because, oh God, there are those who are hungry that need food. There are those who are cold that need warmth. There are those who have no way and need a way made out of no way. So we pray that you would use this group, oh God, these commissioners, to touch your people, to help your people, and to guide your people. In Jesus' mighty name, which is both matchless and majestic, we simply pray and we thank you. Amen.
Thank you so much, pastors, for that wonderful prayer from Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church in Ecorse, Michigan. Thank you so much for joining us today. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Reading, correcting, and approval of the journal.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydun.
Move for approval. Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion or corrections to the journal? Hearing none, please vote. Mr. Pellaver votes yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, thank you so much. Next item.
Report from the chair.
Okay, at this time, I would like to turn it over to Commissioner Glenn Anderson for a special presentation.
Thank you, Madam Chair. With us today, I just wanted to recognize a 30-year employee of the county, Wayne County, Stacy Johnson. And Stacy has worked in various departments and always with great dedication. And everything that we've learned about her has been extremely positive, and I wanted to recognize her as she retires from the county. And I appreciate your consideration. I won't read the entire resolution, but I wanted her to know how much we appreciate her and what she's done for the county for all these years. And she lives in my district, and I appreciate that she made the time to come down and join us today. So if I could would you like to say a couple of words?
Sure. I just want to say thank you all. It has been a pleasure working with Wayne County. It has been a pleasure working inside of the Sheriff's Department. That's where I'm currently housed, and all the other departments that I've worked throughout my entire career with Wayne County. So thank you very much, and I appreciate this honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you, Ms. Johnson, for your 30 years of service to Wayne County, and enjoy the rest of your time. I know this retirement is going to be wonderful, so enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Thank you. Thank you for coming down today, and your family as well. Thank you, Commissioner Anderson, for recognizing. It's great when we have long-serving employees that really give their life to Wayne County for 30 years. So we appreciate, again, all that you've done for us. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Unfinished business.
There is none?
There is none. We're moving to page 2. Offering all petitions, ordinances, resolutions, and presentations. We have one listed, a presentation by Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson.
Right. Ms. Benson, we are so pleased to have with us our very own Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson, who is here to give us an update on what the Secretary of State's office is doing, particularly here in Wayne County. Thank you so much, Ms. Benson, for being with us here today, as well as Mr. Hester Wheeler. Thank you, Hester. So good to see you as well. Turn it one more time, Tony. Hit it. There you go. All right. So she has a presentation that is going to be up on the screen, and I think it's up there now. So again, thank you, Ms. Benson. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Chairwoman Bell, and I really appreciate you offering me space today to give you an update on how our Department of State is working to serve the citizens of Wayne County, and also how we're preparing for an election this fall and in August that we feel all commissioners have a role to play in helping us inform the public on how to both participate in our elections and also have faith in their voice and in the process. I also want to give a shout out to my home commissioner in our district, Commissioner Irma Clark-Coleman. Thank you so much for your leadership. And I really appreciate all the work that you do to serve our district so well, for all that you've given in your lifetime of service, and all of you as well. It's great to see so many of you who I've known for years continuing to serve here in the county. And I'm here today really to ask for your service and help as well as we prepare for an election cycle that gives us all an opportunity in a nonpartisan way to provide clarity and certainty to every citizen in this county that no matter who they vote for or how they choose to vote, their vote will count and they can have faith in the results of the election to be an accurate reflection of the will of the people. And also that we will be doing a lot more than ever before to protect the people who protect democracy. And in particular, our election workers who work long hours to count every valid vote. We've got work and plans in place to protect them. And we hope you'll be a part of being a voice in support of them as we move forward. Next slide, please. First, I wanted to start by emphasizing the work that we're already doing that many of you know about to ensure government works for everyone. I'm proud to be overseeing the state agency that interacts with every one of our state's residents, almost as much as DHHS, more than any other beyond that. And because of that, we've taken it as a responsibility to ensure if I'm asking people to participate in government through voting as the chief election officer, we've also got to make sure government works well for them. And key to our philosophy is meeting people where they are and bringing government to the people and ensuring that they know how to access the basic services that we require of our drivers, for example, licenses and license plates. And as you probably recall, the branch offices several years ago required hours of wait time and a lot of uncertainty. We have completely transformed our branches and our delivery of customer service. And we want you to know that we have 17 offices, 17 branches across the state, one across the county, one in every one of your districts, in some cases more than one. I'm proud to be the first Secretary of State who's in the last few decades who's opened a branch office in the city of Detroit, which is on Warren in Midtown, and I encourage you all to visit it. It's state of the art and really reflects our vision for customer service. We also have self-service stations that look like the one on your screen at grocery stores all across Wayne County, Myers and Kroger. There's nearly 40 self-service stations. They carry information in 7 different languages, and they're a great way to ensure someone can do their services with the state without interacting with our branches. And many of them also take cash. We know not all residents have access to credit cards or other things. And so we made sure that that cash would be an option as well. So we wanted you to know about that as you get questions from residents, because part of our challenge is just making sure people know they don't have to go to a branch to renew their license. They can do it online. They can do it at a self-service station, and they can also do it at one of our mobile branch offices, which I'll talk about in a second. Next slide, please. In addition to that, we also have a law in Michigan that enables the restoration of driver's licenses for folks who may have lost access. And in a state like ours, where public transit is minimal, we know access to driver's licenses is key and is key for people to be able to work and take their kids to school and the like. So we host Road to Restoration clinics that invites any resident to come and free of charge meet with an attorney and folks from our office to see what needs to happen to restore their driver's license. We estimate close to 150,000 Michigan residents are driving with a suspended license, but could have it restored with just a few I's dotted and T's crossed. And so reaching them and making sure they come to us so we can restore their license is a key part of our service. We have Road to Restoration clinics all across the state, from the UP to Alpena to down here in Southeast Michigan. We have upcoming clinics in Muskegon, in Flint and Marquette, and 2 here in Wayne County, one coming up on June 18th at LaSalle. I'll mention everyone that we've done in the county. We've seen over 1,000 people show up. But oftentimes they're hosted by churches and faith leaders as well, and with volunteer attorneys, and also foundations covering fees for drivers restoration. So we just encourage you to know about these and to help us serve more Michigan residents to help their licenses be restored. Next slide, please. And in addition to that, we've also launched 7 mobile branch offices. These are kind of like food trucks with a branch office instead of food. My goal is to make sure every senior center in our state has a mobile branch office. Visit them at least once a month And we have 7 deployed throughout the state to make that a reality. We also visit shelters and places helping individuals who are homeless or housing insecure. We visit and partner with Access, LaSed, and other places to visit places where there are residents with limited English proficiency who need additional support. So if there are places in your districts where you would like us to show up with a mobile branch, it's literally a branch office coming to you, and all the services that you would get by going to a branch, you can get here. And it's been wonderful to see how that's transformed the opportunity to serve our citizens in the state. We have 2 branch office visits scheduled already in Wayne County, one at Capuchin Soup Kitchen on May 21st and one at the VA on May 13th. We have a place at our website where you can request a mobile branch office, or you can just contact me or Hester Wheeler, who's here, anytime you would like, especially this summer as there are summer festivals, or if churches hold gatherings, we're happy to show up where people are, and we're happy to enable you to bring those services to your residents in any convenient way possible. The other thing I wanted to talk about today, next slide please, are the upcoming elections and the work that we're doing to prepare for November. There are 2, you can go to the next slide, there are 2 upcoming statewide elections, as I know you all know, one in August and one in November. But importantly, these dates you see are the last day you can vote now. We have 9 days of early voting and the ability for any resident to go online or to their clerk's office or mail in a form to request a ballot to be mailed to them. Next slide, please. We want you to know that michigan.gov/vote has everything your residents need to know about how to register, how to request and track their ballot if they choose to vote from home. They can view a sample ballot. They can get the location of where to vote early. They can get clerk information, everything they need to know at michigan.gov/vote. So I hope you can amplify that resource for folks who need a one-stop shop for more information. And a few other updates I wanted to go through. As many of you know, these last few years have seen several changes to our election laws, including the ability for citizens to be automatically registered through our office when they get a driver's license or ID. I should mention, we now ensure also, thanks to Hester Wheeler's leadership and many others, that every returning citizen coming out of state prison back to a community gets an ID or driver's license upon return, as well as registration to vote. And that's another thing that we've partnered with Wayne County, thanks to County Executive Warren Evans and many other leaders in the county, to provide to those returning citizens from prisons here in the county. In addition to that, if people aren't registered, they can register any day, including on election day, and they can vote from home as well. And this year we have, among other new things, at least 9 days of early in-person voting. We have found that over half of residents in Wayne County and statewide don't know that they can vote early, and they don't know even that they can vote from home. And so one of the things we need help with is making sure citizens know of this new right that they have. And one of the ways we can operationalize that, next slide please, is the fact that now you can also drive people to the polls and to early voting sites. And remember, during early voting, people will be voting on Sundays, 2 Sundays before an election are early voting Sundays, and Saturdays as well. So you can imagine if there's a gathering, or perhaps folks are going to church on Sundays, you can now actually give people rides to the polls after church or other places, and that can significantly help us educate folks about their opportunities to vote early or from home. The last new thing I'll mention is pre-registration. For those of you who work with our youth, which I think all of you do in different capacities, as of this summer, young 16 and 17-year-olds can now pre-register to vote. And so we've been doing mock elections all across the state, including at high schools here in Wayne County, to make sure our young students and our new generation of voters know that they can register now when they get their driver's license or any other time, and be ready to go when they turn 18. Happy to go into more detail about the mock elections we're holding all across the state. It's been a great way for people to exercise their power and vote on things within their community that help them see the power of the vote they all possess. And finally, we recognize that misinformation is going to be a weapon and a tactic that bad actors use to target Wayne County residents this fall. And we have established voter confidence councils with business leaders, sports leaders, education leaders, and I hope many of you can be a part of this work as well to equip trusted messengers, as you all are, your trusted leaders in your communities, with the information, some of which we've gone through today, about our elections, so that when misinformation hits residents, they know they can turn to you for the truth. Finally, we know, next slide, please, that misinformation in 2024 will be a tactic that will, just as it did in 20, particularly target residents of the city and of this county. And the most significant reason I'm here today is to ask all of you to help us protect your residents, protect Wayne County residents from the nefarious impact of misinformation. We know it seeks to divide and deceive and deter people from voting. Next slide. And we know with artificial intelligence, the potential for misinformation, false photos, false statements from candidates, false information about the safety of voting is already in the pipeline and going to target residents in this county. So with that, there is a lot of work you can do. If you hear something, please share it with our office so that we can respond and equip you to respond to misinformation. And I always encourage people who come to me with questions or concerns about the process to serve as an election worker so they can see firsthand just how secure our elections are. And we actually have a website, michigan.gov/democracymvp, where people can sign up to be an election worker any place in this state. A number of other things we're doing to engage young people in knowing their voice and their power in this election cycle, and would love your partnership in any of that. So I hope to have follow-up conversations with many of you about what we can do together to ensure democracy prevails in 2024 and beyond. But it all comes down to simply just knowing the rules of elections and helping us call out the lies about our elections so that we can rise above the noise and act in confidence that our votes will count as they will and that our voices will be heard. So thank you again, Chair Bell, for having me here today, and I appreciate all of the work that you do in Wayne County. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Secretary of State. Wonderful presentation. Thank you so much for all the innovative things that we're doing in your offices to really assist voters and assist the residents. I remember one time I spent 3 hours with a good book as a Secretary of State just to get my driver's license. But now I go to the kiosk and, it's very simple, easy, quick. So I think in this day and age, using technology like that is an amazing tool in your toolkit. And then, of course, the mobile offices, I think, are amazing as well. You spoke to the mock elections with the young people. With the mobile, I have a question. With the mobile offices, do those go out to the schools, or have you had those go out to the schools as well?
Yes, because students can get their licenses and IDs or register to vote. And so we also hope to get them to every college campus and community college campus this year. But if there are any particular schools or gatherings of students, I visited, for example, the Durfee Innovation Center Expo earlier this week. I would love to have our branch office show up there too, because we'll go anywhere there are people who need our services.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And again, I think this is the first time that we've had a Secretary of State come to address the Wayne County Commission. And this is so important with all the changes in the election laws that you've brought to us and just the education that you're giving us for us to then go out and let our constituents know that's very, very important. Education is key. This is a civics event. Voting is the right and duty of every American but they have to get informed to be educated. So I thank you for bringing this education piece to us as we talk about the upcoming elections, the changes to that, and just the Secretary of State's office in general. Are there any questions? I see one from Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydoun.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Secretary, for bringing the state-of-the-art technology to the offices of the Secretary of State. Makes it a lot easier than before. A quick question, what is your prediction for this year's primary election and the general election in terms of a turnout?
Well, we in 2020 saw the highest turnout primary and general elections in our state's history. So we're putting the tools in place we need to equip voters to participate again in those high numbers. I'm hopeful and optimistic they will, regardless of how they choose to use their vote. We want everyone to have their voice heard. So we'll continue to partner with local officials so that people can feel that they're part of the process and know how important it is to use their power. And hopefully we'll continue to smash those turnout records. They're really directly linked to the ease of voting policies that we've got in place now. So I'm optimistic we'll see high turnout in both of our elections this year, and we're putting all the things in place we need now to get into that goal. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Jesus?
Thank you, Madam the Chair. Thank you for wealth of information, really good, and make the voting more simple to the public. You mentioned as you could register to vote on the day of the election. Vote when you register in the same day?
Yes, you have to go to your clerk's office and you can register and then vote right there. Yes, thank you.
Commissioner Marecki?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for being here. As a former city clerk, there's a lot of changes that have happened in the last few years, but I have a question about the voter transportation. Can any group can do whatever they want to gather voters to bring to the polls? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, you can bring people to the clerk's office to register and vote. You can bus people to early voting centers. You can take people to vote. All of that is now legal in Michigan.
Okay,
And
and
we're
you
also,
just can do it you don't have to
Correct.
file anything or?
nope, no. And we're also talking with Uber and Lyft to provide a code for people to use those ride services or rideshare services to free of charge to be able to vote too.
Okay,
That way.
all right, thank you.
Yeah.
Commissioner Clemente?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for being here today. My question is about getting the word out. I know we're trusted. Do you have liaisons that could go into communities or speak at groups? I serve a
Yes.
community that could really use that in different
Mhm.
languages too. Yes, we do. And we're building out our team, but certainly myself, Hester, our Deputy Secretary of State, Agogo Adeviye, do that on a regular basis. And we have a community engagement team led by Neva Sevilla, who's a Detroiter and has worked all across the state. And she also can, with her team, go into places and oftentimes bring a mobile office too to provide services. But yes, we have a whole collection of folks as well with our voter competence councils who we're equipping to do that work and to speak about the rules of voting. So just let us know where you'd like us and we can get there. Okay, you're good. I was wondering who I could reach out to.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. This was very informative. We have the information, we have your numbers, so I'm sure many of us will reach out to you as we draw closer to August and November. And again, it's about educating people to vote. And we're just not talking about voting for the Secretary of State's office. We're also talking about IDs. We're talking about organ donation that you can put on your driver's license, all of the services that your office provides. So thank you so much again for coming here today. You're welcome to stay as long as you'd like, if you can stay to watch our very enjoyable meeting, or if you have other things to do, we certainly understand that as well. But thank you so much for taking the time to come see us today and to give us this great information.
Thank you, Madam
Thank
Chair.
you.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair, for your leadership and for all of you for your leadership in the county. It makes me proud to be a resident of the county to see all of you working hard to represent us well. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Secretary. All right. Thank you, Mr. Wheeler, as well, for accompanying. All right. All right. Before we go on to our committee reports, let me just remind our guests in the audience and online that at our full board meetings, we come here after we have several conversations in the committees and vet each item during the committee process. And then these items are then brought here to the full board meeting for final disposition, but each item has been heavily vetted and discussed at the committee level before it comes here to the full board meeting. With that, Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Oh, thank you. We're on reports from committees. Report A, the Committee on Public Services, is listed on pages 2 through 6. There are 15 items.
Commissioner Marecki?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move approval for the items 1 through 15, with Commissioner Clemente being the maker of the motion on number 7, and Commissioner Palomera being the maker of the motion on number 9, the $20 million for the
Yay.
Groseal Bridge that he's been waiting for, and
Yes.
we've all been waiting for.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's been moved by Commissioner Marecki, supported by Commissioner Dobb. Any discussion on the items on the public services report? Any discussion? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries, and I have Commissioner Clemente as the maker of number 7 and Vice Chair Palomera as the maker of the motion of number 9.
Item, please.
We move to page 6, the Committee on Ways and Means that is listed on pages 6 and 7. There are 10 items.
Commissioner Kinlock.
Madam Chair, I move approval of the entire report, items 1 through 10.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Kinlock, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydoun. Any discussion on the Ways and Means report? Any discussion on the items on the Ways and Means report? Okay. Hearing none, please vote.
Commissioner Scott?
Oh, Commissioner Kinlock, did you?
No, I'm saying after we vote.
Oh, okay.
Motion carries.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Just also like to remind commissioners that I'll be sending out a communication that will be due back next week on budget priorities because we're about to begin the budget process. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Madam Clerk, next item.
Warrant Report C, Committee on Health and Human Services is listed on pages 7 through 10. There are 8 items.
Commissioner Scott?
Thank you, Madam Chair. On item number 1, receive and file, from 2 through 8, move for approval.
Been moved by Commissioner Scott, supported by Commissioner Killeen. Commissioner Kniezek?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to abstain on items 2, 4, and 7.
Duly noted. Any questions or discussion on the Health and Human Services report? I'm just going to make a comment on number 8, the Just Air Solutions, the air monitoring devices. 100 of those have been placed throughout the county. So we are ecstatic to be able to provide or to receive data on air quality. And once we get that data, it'll help us indicate to the bad actors that they need to clean up their act and let the residents know with the inhalers that work with children if they're in need of devices based on the air quality. So I think that's a wonderful Health and Human Service activity that we voted on a few months ago. The inventor is a young man, and I'm just so proud of him. In our technology hub, we have a lot of young people in Wayne County who are doing remarkable things in the field of technology, and we're so proud of Mr. Darren Riley, who came up with this particular solution for air quality. So I just want to make mention of that. Commissioner Dodd?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I did see that there was an event yesterday, I believe, on the Just Air.
Yes.
Implements. Will there be information coming to the commissioners about how to get the data or how
that really
get
works?
the platform out to our district?
Good morning, Dr. Abdul Al-Sayed, Director and Health Officer, Department of Health, Human and Veteran Services. We will send out a formal communication. For now, anybody in the county can go, frankly, anybody can go to waynecounty.com/air quality or justair.app. Both of them will have real-time information as well as a heat map on air quality. That's also where folks can go to sign up for text messages based on the location that they live in the county. And we will send a bit more on that. And we look forward to being able to update the commission on the metadata that we create and what we learn coming out of this particular air quality season and moving forward. So we're really excited to have this up. And again, just want to thank Commission for your support of the project. Really excited about what this will do for our residents.
Is there an app that goes along with this as well?
Yep, folks can download that again, either at waynecounty.com/air quality or justair.app.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
And not to get too much in the weeds, but how long will it take to make a determination as to this is a bad air quality area versus this area? 3 months, 6 months, a year?
So air quality tends to be seasonal. It tends to be worse coming out of this season. In fact, 2 days ago was National Air Quality Awareness Day. And so May, June, July, and August tend to be the worst air quality months. And so we should have a pretty good swath of data coming out of this summer, which should be really helpful for us. The thing about data, though, is it's never a situation where less data is better. So the more we collect, and we'll be collecting in real time, the better the quality of our data and the better the quality of our inference. So our hope is that coming out of the summer, we should have some pretty good data.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Scott?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to say, on the news this morning, they highlighted it quite extensively.
At Channel 2?
I think it was 7 that
7,
I
okay.
saw this morning.
Okay, wonderful. Very good. All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. If there's any questions anyone has to get a little bit deeper dive into the Just Air and the air quality piece, please contact Dr. Elstead. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. So we have motion and support. Any additional discussion on Health and Human Services? Hearing none, please vote.
I vote yes, here we go.
Motion carries, and I have Commissioner Knizi abstaining on items 2, 4, and 7.
Next item, please.
Next item is report from the Chair of the Committee on Public Safety, Judiciary, and Homeland Security. It's listed on pages 10 and 11 with 3 items.
Clark Coleman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move item number 1 for receive and file, and 2 and 3 for approval.
Moved by Commissioner Clark Coleman, supported by Commissioner Hayes. Any discussion on the items on the public safety report? Any discussion? Is Mr. John Serta here by any chance? If you could, and I don't know if he's going to be with the Homeland Security. Sir, if you want to make comments about this appointment. Turn on the microphone.
Are we on?
There you go, this one,
Okay,
great.
thank you. John Serta, thank you for this opportunity to speak in person through the chair. Again, my name is John Serta, and I am born and raised in the city of Detroit, currently living in Dearborn. Served 30 years Detroit Police Department, 5 years City of Detroit Law Department, 6.5 years military. And so I hope that I bring something to the table, but I appreciate the opportunity. And I know you have a lot on your agenda, so I'll certainly be glad to answer any questions. I have 2 degrees from Wayne State University, married with 2 adult children. So that's pretty much my story.
Okay, thank you, Director. Do you want to add anything?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Thank you, Commissioners. John really stood out. We went out and recruited and talked to at least 7 people, and John's credentials, graduated from the FBI Academy, being recently in the last year the commanding officer of the Southwest District, and having a big role in Detroit during the COVID pandemic. We worked with them hand in hand on many things to make sure our public safety was prepared. I think John would be a great asset to the county, knows the city well and the surrounding suburbs. He's worked many crucial positions over the years. I had a pleasure of working with him in the Detroit Police Department. Just very brilliant, and I think he'd bring a great addition to the county, and your blessings would be much appreciated. Thank you, Commissioners.
So much, Director. Okay, any additional discussion or comments on the public safety report?
Chair.
Commissioner Kinlock.
Just wanted to congratulate him and welcome him on board. His reputation precedes him. He's worked very closely in the Southwest Detroit community. That's an area in which I once represented on the school board, but also have strong ties and grew up in Southwest. So welcome on board. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Commissioner Clemente.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commander Serta was one of the first people that I met when I started going to the 4th Precinct, or community meetings. He's always been very open, and I think he'll be a great asset to Wayne County. So welcome aboard. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So much. Any additional discussion on the public safety report? Okay. Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carried.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
Mr.
Chair.
Serta.
Thank you, Commission. Appreciate
All
it,
right.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Next item, please.
On page 11, report from the Committee on Government Operations. There are 9 items listed on pages 11 through 13.
Clemente?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would move approval of items 1 through 9 on the government ops report.
Moved by Commissioner Clemente, supported by Commissioner Hados. Any discussion on the government operations report? Any discussion on the items under government operations? Commissioner Dobb.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I had a question on item number 8. It's a sole source contract. Did we receive the due diligence letter for that contract?
Council, do you know if we received the due diligence for item number 8 on the government operations?
Through the chair to this honorable body, I'm not exactly sure what letter you're referring to.
Marcy, am I calling it the wrong thing? The letter that we talked about in our audit on sole source contracts.
A letter from the procurement division acknowledging that their due diligence to confirm it was a sole source contract.
Did receive approval from the procurement director. I'm not sure if we received an actual written letter.
Aaron, can you answer that question for Commissioner?
Through the chair, Aaron Wagner, Chief Administrative Officer. Commissioner, I'll have to confer with Arthur Walker, the procurement director, to find out. I do know that when a sole source solicitation is submitted, we do require documentation from the supplier indicating that they are the only source for this, and that the procurement staff, in addition to the director, do vet through to make sure. As far as a particular letter, certainly we can work with Marcy and her group to make sure that that's included in the approval from the procurement director, indicating that yes, they have vetted through.
All right, great. That would be wonderful. We just had a whole audit on this process, and including that letter is very important.
Let's make sure that the procurement director works with our auditor to make sure that those documents are included. Council?
Through the chair, because there were several contracts that were already being processed at the time, there will be a lag where we will get items that will not have that letter. And I guess we can work with procurement to determine what is that cutoff, so we'll know as staff when to actually look for it. Because this contract we received over a month ago, but it was put in their system prior to that. So it's possible that this was already in process. So we'll follow up with procurement and make sure that we have a deadline and know when to actually start looking for those letters.
And I can attest that at least on the CEO's office transmittal side, we'll make sure that that language is included. And we'll make sure not to move anything past our queue moving forward.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional discussion on the report? On government operations, any additional discussion? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item.
We're on upcoming meetings. They're listed on pages 13 and 14.
Okay, please look at the upcoming meetings where there is a Women's Commission meeting today at 12 o'clock. But please look at the meetings, and if there are any changes, please let the clerk know. Commissioner Dobb?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to let everyone know that we're going to have the external auditors in at our next audit meeting on May 15th. So if anyone would like to join.
Great, thank you. Okay, next item.
We're on page 14, under new business. There are 2 items listed. The first item is requesting commission approval of amendment number 1 to a 1-year intergovernmental agreement between the Charter County of Wayne and the state of Michigan.
Support.
Been moved by Commissioner Kinlock, supported by Commissioner Hayes. This is a $500,000 agreement, Graphic Sciences, to perform digital conversion in the prosecutor's office. Tony, I don't know if you want to speak to this at all. Is this your item? No, not your item. Maybe your item.
Thank you. Tony Guerrero, Chief of Legislation, Grants and Community Relations for the Prosecutor's Office. Madam Chair and members of the committee, the commission, we're very grateful for this particular item to come before you. This is essentially the scanning contract. We have been involved in scanning our files because our office has to be completely digital in order for us to make the move to the new criminal justice complex. This extra $500,000 extends the term of the agreement by 1 year and 7.5 months. It will go from February 16th of 2023 through September 30th of 2025. And it will cover an additional 1,500 case files. We have been at a standstill, unable to do any scanning whatsoever until this contract came before you. I'm happy to answer any questions, but I want also to acknowledge and thank Commission staff, Commission counsel for moving this item forward so you could vote on it today.
Thank you so much, Tony. Any discussion on this particular item? This will assist with you all in your move over to the CJC. Commissioner Anderson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I know space is a greater premium at the new facility, certainly, and I applaud the prosecutor's office for all they're doing to try to digitize records. I know there's some, though, isn't there some that have to be maintained in the paper format that we'll
Yes,
still have to store?
there are a number of them when we're talking about homicide files, things of that nature that will be housed at the Bigliotti building because we have to keep the hard copies of those.
This will relieve us of a lot of storage cost, right?
This will relieve us of much of the storage costs that the prosecutor's office is paying for the Bigliotti building.
Any estimate of how much we'll save in the storage cost?
Frankly, I can't answer that, Commissioner, but I'll be able to find out and get that to you.
Be interesting, I think, for everyone. Thank you. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any additional questions on this item? Okay, and if you don't mind, we'll take 1 and 2 together. Number 2, please. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you. May I be excused?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Item number 2 is requesting commission approval of a purchase order to a cooperative agreement between the Charter County of Wayne and W.W. Granger, Inc.
Okay, and who's here to speak on this item?
Through the chair, Aaron Wagner, Chief Administrative Officer. The item before you, this cooperative purchase, is for tools for the FM&P team to maintain the new CJC. As the FM building is being finalized and built out, and the various trades are working there, they have workstations that will be within the CJC to address various plumbing, electrical, construction issues.
Any questions on number 2? Any questions on this item? Any discussion? Good. Okay, Commissioner Haydos moves to approve items 1 and 2, supported by Commissioner Kimlock. We'll just do it, I know. It's okay, Commissioner Kinlock?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. One more time for any discussion on items number 1 and number 2. Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you so much. Next item, please.
We're on testimonial resolutions and certificates of appreciation. They're listed on pages 14 and 15.
There a motion?
Move.
Okay, moved and supported. Commissioner Scott, discussion?
Yes. I just wanted to say something about a few of them.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to be added to Dr. Carol Dixon, longtime friend of mine, to her resolution. One of her honoraries chairs. And also Dr. Steve Bland, pastor of Liberty Baptist Church, long time. He added to that. And I just wanted to speak on Miss Carolyn Williamson Green. She was very active with Mrs. Rosa Parks. So she was just an awesome activist, still very active in the community. And Miss Laura Dickerson, as most of you probably know her, as the UAW Region 1A, Local 600. I have known her family and her before she was even born. So I just wanted to honor, I'm so proud of her, all that she has done. She came up through the ranks and has just been an exemplary person. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner. Yes, we're also proud of Laura Dickerson, first African-American woman to have that position with Region 1A. So very proud of her. Thank you. Commissioner Anderson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would just ask if I could be included in the number 7 and number 16. Both those individuals, I would, because of knowing them, I'd like to be included if I could. Thank you.
Duly noted. Commissioner Kinlock.
Like to be added, included. If on item number 16, I would like to also be added.
Very good. Duly noted. All right. Any discussion further on these items? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carried.
Next item, please.
We're on memoriams.
Okay, we have 3 names listed for memoriams. Are there any additional names to be added at this time? Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydoun.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to add 2 names. The first one is Haj Samih Sharara. He is the brother-in-law of our dear colleague, Commissioner Haydos. He passed away earlier this week, survived by many family members and extended family. Again, I extend my sincere condolences to his entire family and to our dear friend and colleague, Commissioner Haydos. And the second one is Muhammad Sayan. He's a former teacher in the Dearborn Public Schools. He passed away yesterday. He also has had an impact on many students throughout his 40-year career in the Dearborn Public Schools. And I do extend my condolences to his family as well. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Keeping those families in our prayers, especially Commissioner Haydos and your family. Any additional names? Hearing none. Everyone, please stand for a moment of silence. Thank you so much. And again, we want to keep the families of those listed in our prayers during this difficult time. Next item.
We're on page 16, public comments, and I do have an email.
You have an email? Okay, let me see if there's anyone on Zoom first. Anyone on Zoom for public comments? You have 2 minutes if you're on Zoom. Anyone on Zoom? Anyone on the telephone?
My name is Tara Brown.
Okay, very good, Ms. Brown. We hear you. You have 2 minutes, please.
Thank you. I guess I picked the perfect day to come today because everybody that I needed to hear me is here today. I was coming because I wanted to speak to the fact that I've been reporting a business, Great Lakes Property and Investment Service, to Wayne County for over a year for deed fraud. They are submitting deeds that are signed by the owner, Jasmine McMorris. They are not paying their fair share of taxes. These quit claim deeds are fraudulent. She is the one that constructed them. She is the one that is signing them. And in Michigan, a notary is not allowed to notarize their own signature. In addition to reporting this information to Wayne County, I've also been reporting it to Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson's office for notary fraud. This woman has been notarizing documents since I made my initial complaint in February of 2023, and she is still making them as recently as February of March of 2024. I reached out to every single commissioner by email to address this issue after Spring Smith told me that basically I can't make the complaint because I'm not on the deed. So you're expecting the person who in some cases is the grantor, the grantee, and the notary to make the complaint about deed fraud. When I made the complaint, Jonathan Kinlock was the only one that got back to me, and he got back to me immediately, followed up on it only to be given the same information that I was given, which is essentially because I'm not on the deed, I can't make the complaint. People in Wayne County, specifically in Detroit, are still getting their houses stolen because people are committing deed fraud. They're the gentleman that swears she stole his house this way. We are reporting this. Why are the people in the in the deed registration office not being trained on notary laws? And more importantly, why is it when the public is pointing this information out, nobody is doing anything about it? I get it. You all like to be involved in the bread and circus, giving away dresses, turkeys, bikes, and all this other nonsense. We need you to act on behalf of the citizens of Detroit, and especially when we are coming to Bernard Youngblood and his staff and telling them, and nothing is still being done. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Do we have any other public comments on Zoom? No hands raised. One more time. Any public comments on Zoom? Ms. Buffington? Go ahead, Ms. Buffington. Go ahead, Ms. Buffington.
Madam Chair, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
If I could answer to the young lady that just spoke, because I am the union representation for Mr. Youngblood's office. There was a public announcement done by Mr. Youngblood about the deed theft that is going on across the country. And they have enlisted a deed protection plan that people can enroll into because of how the law is set on your deeds with your property. This deed theft is ongoing, not due to the Mr. Youngblood or his office. It's in place of how the legislation is set on your deeds for your property. And the employees there have to follow the guidelines that were set in place under Mr. Youngblood's office and under the legislation. So people in Detroit need to be made aware to enroll in deed protection if you have any issues or are afraid of any issues that are occurring for your deeds on your property. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Buffington. And as you know, under public comments, we are not to engage in dialogue back and forth, but I appreciate you clarifying that, Ms. Buffington. And I'm sure Ms. McMorris will be in touch with commissioners and the rest of Dee's office for further conversation on this issue. Anyone else online or on the telephone? Okay, we have an email before we go to chambers.
This email is from Anthony Plessia. Dear Commissioners, please stand up against the Biden administration's efforts to cede U.S. sovereignty to the World Health Organization via amendments to the International Health Regulations and the Pandemic Preparedness Treaty. Please restrict funding to any county departments that enforce World Health Organization ethics. Remember, in Federalist 33, Alexander Hamilton wrote, "The lower level governments have the right to treat acts by the federal government that are not pursuant to the Constitution as acts of usurpation."
That's it. Thank you so much. Anyone in chambers for public comments? You have 2 minutes. Anyone in chambers for public comments? You have 2 minutes. One more time. Public comments. Okay. Thank you so much. Next item.
Reconsideration.
There are none.
Remarks by members?
Thank you. Any remarks by members today before I go? Any remarks by members? Remarks by members. Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to let all of the commissioners know in our meeting with the Youth Council, was that last week, 2 weeks? We decided to send out or talked about just getting to you the applications in advance so you can start looking for students or members to appoint, youth to appoint early while the school year is in. So today, this morning, we sent over to you the applications. So you will have them in hand. Also, Jim worked on a flyer for each of the commissioners, personalized, tailored for you to submit to schools or in your district to help with the recruitment. So if you have any other questions, please reach out to me. Thank you.
Thank you. This is May, school gets out May, June, so maybe we can get those in the hands to counselors before the end of the school year. We can have good candidates for you to choose from before we start the new school year in September. Thank you so much, Commissioner. Hearing no other, I'm gonna come to you in a sec. No other remarks by members. Eddie Fakuri, could you please come to the stand, please? Eddie. Tomorrow is Eddie's last day, and we want to publicly thank you for your service to Wayne County for these years. Let's give Eddie a round of applause. Yes.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You have served Wayne County residents under the leadership of CEO Evans. You've been in all of our offices several times, making sure that we were abreast of the issues that were important to the administration. We want to thank you for your tenacity, for your honesty, for just being there, working diligently for the administration and being that superstar liaison that you've been. So congratulations on what's next for you. I'm sure it's going to be super fabulous, but we will miss you. And we thank you so much for your service to Wayne County, to the commission, and to the administration.
I really, through the chair and to all the commissioners, I'm overwhelmed. Thanks for this surprise and the gratitudes. I'm grateful, and I will definitely miss everyone here that I refer to as my Wayne County family. It's been an honor to serve under Mr. Evans' leadership. Equally, it was wonderful to serve each and every one of you. And yeah, as I say, I'll give it to God and see where he takes me next. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I really appreciate that.
Vice Chair Palomira.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Eddie, congratulations to you. I look forward to staying in touch with you and your future endeavors. But you were here, Eddie, last meeting as well, where we honored another great American. And while you're up there representing the administration, I want to take the time now, even though it probably was more appropriate for me to thank these people who did the work behind the scenes then. But our last meeting ended in a flurry of pictures and congratulations to Mr. Eaton. I wasn't able to thank the people who did a lot of doggone hard work to make that go off without a hitch or glitch. I'll start with Chair Bell, that gave us the latitude to put together a meeting. Quite frankly, didn't know how it was going to go, but we got a lot of good feedback after it. Want to thank Chief of Staff Tim Johnson and my staff, Martha Toth and Alan Helmkamp, for greeting the guest speakers who showed. Want to thank Angelo Proya and Karen and Kim at the front desk, who made sure our VIPs, including the governor and Coach Izzo, had parking right in front of the building. The communication staff, Jim Toth, who made sure that we got all of our signatures and developed it into a beautiful plaque for Mr. Eaton, as well as Wayne Peel and Orlando Gloucester in that office. But last but not least, the thing that I was most nervous about came off the best, and that was the technical video tributes that I just hope that our machines worked. Not only did they work beautifully, but the ladies added music and graphics, and I can't be any more grateful to Octavia Hunter from Central Staff, Sharon Guyton from Irma Clark Coleman's office, and Abdullah Al-Nakal in IT, who made sure that everything just went smooth. It was a good day for Wayne County. I've heard nothing but great feedback. So congratulations to all of you for a wonderful meeting at our last meeting. So thanks again, Eddie, for being here, and thank you, everybody else.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And thank you, Vice Chair Palomero, for an awesome, awesome event to have the governor here, Tom Izzo. It was just an amazing, amazing day as we celebrated Greg Eaton for his years of accomplishments, and it was just an honor to be here. So thank you for your leadership and foresight to even bring this to us. So we appreciate that as well. Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydun.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to take this opportunity as Eddie's Wayne County Commissioner. He's a Dearborn resident. Eddie, I want to thank you for everything, for your public service, for Wayne County residents, for everything you have done. I really have enjoyed working with you, and I'm looking forward to staying in touch in the near future. Thank you again. And to Commissioner Palomero, you know what? I'm becoming a Michigan State fan. Just for 1 year. Thank you for putting on such a beautiful program, and all the staff that you have mentioned for making sure it was a great success. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any additional remarks by members? Any additional remarks by members? Commissioner Hayes?
Thank you, Madam the Chair. I can't miss this opportunity to tell Eddie I really enjoy working with him by making our communication simple and clear. And we always accomplish what we aim to do with him. A person like Eddie, I don't think he have a problem to get a huge success wherever he go. I wish him well, and I always like to keep my friendship going with him, even after the county, their life. So thank you, Eddie, and God bless you, and we wish you the best.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Kinlock?
I also would like to thank Eddie for his staying on top of stuff. I can just tell you, I've sent out emails without Eddie, and it would take a couple of days longer to get responsible. When I add Eddie, Eddie responds, and then he gets on top of it and was on top of it, and I appreciate that. He would call you on weekends and the evenings to make sure that you had things that if your answers were responded to. He was always accessible, and I appreciate that. And wish him well in all of his endeavors and look forward to staying in touch with him as well. Thank you.
Additional remarks by members? Eddie, again, Godspeed, good luck, and know that you have 15 people here who will assist you and are lucky to be your friends, and we look forward to the next chapter of your life. Thank you. All right. If that concludes, motion to adjourn? All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you all so much. All right.
Good meeting.